do you see as the biggest challenges in conservation?
The growing human population. Because if where we are, there's nothing else.
And do you have views about what should be done about that?
Can't you guess?
Well, it could be on a spectrum from mass sterilisation to greater availability of contraception. I don't know what your views are as to what can be done about it.
Well, I think it might be described as voluntary family limitation.
I grew up in the 1960s, watching those TV commercials with those starving kids in Africa who stared vacantly at the camera with sad eyes and distended bellies. And in 6th grade, my Glee Club teacher, Mr. Collins, had us change the words in this song we were singing. 3 billion people in the world to 4 billion people in the world. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe that the population was so big. And I was even more shocked because no one else in the class seemed at all disturbed by this fact. A couple days later, I told my friend Susie Hollander that because there seemed to be too many people in the world for it to handle, that I wasn't going to have any kids. And she looked at me and she replied that she was going to have 3. This is unsustainable.
I am not a bigot. Mother Earth is dying because I exist. I trust these philanthropist eugenicists who just want what's best for me. I am an empowered and free global citizen.
A war over resources? Or will it stop growing because people choose to have smaller families? And by smaller families, I mean one-child families. And this is where people start getting nervous talking about overpopulation and population issues because they're scared that I'm going to take away their rights to have children. But I don't want to take people's rights away. I want to give people rights.
Hi, we're Natasha and Luca, that vegan couple from YouTube and other social media.
The time has come to make animal rights history.
Join us in London on October 7 for the Animal Rebellion.
It's a 2-week disruption, but you can come for any time you're able to.
Taking direct action for animals to disrupt business as usual and demand serious change from governments is what the animal victims and the planet desperately need.
Hey everyone, we're in Lisbon, Portugal. We are disrupting in a supermarket, or a shopping centre I should say, with lots of restaurants around us. We have about 23 activists with us tonight and we're playing the screams of animals.
If we all sterilize ourselves and give the animals human rights, we can all have equal animal rights together and eat plant-based fortified kibble to stop the #climate crisis and achieve #climate justice with the good grown-ups at the big banks, governments, and global corporations.
Is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better not to lay off those 10 teachers and to make that trade-off in medical costs? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion. So you, of course,
that's an interesting thing you just said.
Our Earth is warming up and our oceans are rising. Extreme weather is wrecking millions of lives.
From California to the Amazon, our forests are burning. We are in a climate emergency.
We cannot let this happen on our watch. Up to 1 million species are becoming extinct because of mankind's actions, and time is running out.
History shows us that when enough people rise up and demand change, those in power have no choice but to act.
Millions of people around the world are taking to the streets on a climate strike, demanding our leaders listen to the science and act.
We must take back power. That means voting for leaders who care about the future of our planet. Join in supporting environmental movements like Greenpeace or Fridays for Future, a global youth movement inspired by Greta Thunberg.
And doing what we can to live in a greener lifestyle, like cutting out meat and dairy in your diet and reducing plastic use.
I mean, the population's going to have to stop growing at some point, so why not stop now? Instead of wishing that some invention or technology will save us that doesn't even exist yet and we're not even sure works. So for everyone to have quality of life, the number of humans on Earth needs to go down. And I believe that it needs to go down to 2 billion people, which sounds radical because there are 7 billion people on the planet today, but it's actually the world population of just 80 years ago. So let's change our idea of what the ideal family looks like. And let's not be afraid to talk about overpopulation, because it is not about taking rights away from people. It is about giving opportunities to women, children, and future generations. And lastly, let's be part of the solution.
The Red Brigade symbolizes the blood that connects all of us. It's the blood that connects humans, species, all of us to the earth. So for me, the Red Brigade is a vessel to hold the emotions of grief and loss and rage and joy and love and peace. And it's those emotions that connect all of us. And we work, or we try to work as one, which symbolizes that we are all connected. We act as one. We move as one.
We are all one. Everything is relative and morality is subjective, so we must act together to save the planet. You are highly evolved gods who evolved by random chance through evolution that created something out of nothing in a meaningless cold material universe that evolved life out of nothing by transforming cosmic ponscum into monkeys who must save the planet by getting rid of themselves and creating a totalitarian technocratic global monoculture society. We must eat nutrient-fortified kibble in our smart cities and pay for our cockroach milk and VR porn with carbon credits so the IMF, World Bank and Fortune 100 can save the planet from the evil CO2 we exhale, and poor little Billie Eilish can have her future back. I am not deceived. Pop culture is healthy and is not programming me to self-destruct. I will save the world by eating sustainable vegan kibble and demanding the government give me the same rights as animals. I am not being dehumanized. I am empowered. Veganism and vasectomies should be mandatory. Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide, and I trust the people on the TV screen. Peace, Reflections.
There we go. Howdy, bigots. What's happening? What's happening, guys? It looks like some of you bigots are actually getting notified by YouTube today, so that's a good sign. That's a good sign. May the algorithm allow us into its good graces. We are good global citizens here at Primal Edge Health. We are good global citizens. What's happening? Got a bunch of people in the chat. How you like that intro video? It was between that one and the one with Sadhguru. Sadhguru. We must decrease the population. If we do not stop having babies, everything in the world will be so sad. How's that Billie Eilish character, though? How is that Billie Eilish? What a strange world we live in, right? It just keeps getting weirder and weirder. It keeps getting weirder every day, doesn't it, everybody? All right. Today, what are we talking about today? Today, we're talking about fake meat. We're talking about fake meat. Yet again, fake meat back in the news. Lab-grown meat, as we've said for several years now, is going to get pushed really, really hard very soon. Now, we've already got the Beyond Burgers, we got the Impossible Burger, all this soy-based, monocropped, mass-produced, big ag, kibble they're trying to get us to eat instead of real foods. Next step, of course, is going to be the lab-grown meat. So we'll talk a little bit about today. A realistic steak is fake meat's holy grail. Bloomberg Business Week. Of course, we know Bloomberg Philanthropies being one of the big global players, kind of ushering in this idea of a Green New Deal, of a global New Deal for nature, of global planetary dietary guidelines, and a plant-based diet. Bloomberg, this major media piece about lab-grown meat, We're going to take a look at this now. We got a super chat, though, already. Cowitarian. What's up, Cowitarian? Thanks for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Muchísimas gracias. All right, so let's... Where is my window? I have so many windows pulled up. Where's that at? There it is. Fake meat. You have to recreate the complex interplay of muscle and fat, flavor, and texture. Right, to make that proper fake meat, it is going to take such amazing technology, right? Such a high-tech machinery. Right? We just need this fake meat, according to the technocrats that are pushing this stuff on us. Of course, we don't believe this stuff. We don't buy into this nonsense. We don't buy into this eat plant-based foods to save the world. We see it for what it is here. This is a astroturfed fake grassroots revolution. It's a revolution on behalf of the Fortune 100, on behalf of global financial interests, on behalf of the global elite. Right? These transnational corporations that are trying to shove this stuff down our throat and shove a carbon tax, an international carbon tax, down our throat, are licking their chops and pumping out propaganda by the day about fake meat and how amazing it is. Right? So the fake problems, the climate's changing, it's because of meat. Right? The climate's changing, it's because of meat. Has nothing to do with the sun. Right? Has nothing to do with any other thing other than you and I breathing, right? You keep having babies. You guys keep exhaling your evil CO2, that stuff that plants inhale. You guys keep having babies. You guys want to have farm animals. You guys want to produce your own food. That's unsustainable, right? We've got to all move into a smart city. We've got to all have our everything 3D printed for us and move into a circular sharing economy like the World Economic Forum says. Right, like the European Bank, like Christine Lagarde and the IMF say. Because the big grown-ups on the TV, all those good grown-ups on the TV, they know what's best for us, right? Jeffrey Epstein's BFF, Prince Andrew's father, Prince Philip, says there's too many of you toxic people out there. So we got to get out. We got to get rid of you. We got to get rid of your dang cows, and we got to feed you lab-grown soylent slop. The walls of Redefined Meat Limited's lab in Rehoboth, Israel, are plastered with posters of cuts of beef, including sirloin, T-bones, and ribeyes. Books such as Whole Beast Butchery line the counters while vacuum-packed bags of what look like chops, ground meat, and gristle practically spill out of the fridge. The engineers and food researchers are, you could say, a little bit obsessed. But the startup isn't looking to sell the perfect cut of beef. Instead, it wants to create a plant-based facsimile. The company is building a 3D printer that it says will produce a meatless steak that's so fatty, juicy, and perfectly meaty that even the most dedicated carnivore won't know the difference. All meat alternatives today are basically a meat homogeneous mass, says Eshkar Ben Shitrit, aptly named Eshkar Ben Shitrit, Redefined Meat's chief executive officer. If you 3D print it, you can control what's happening inside the mass to improve the texture and to improve the flavor. Startups like Redefined Meat and their backers say that 3D printing promises to give diners the same sensory experience as eating a real T-bone or rump roast. It's going to give you the same dining experience, you guys, except it's going to taste like shit and you're going to have no idea what you're eating. Right? This is something designed by dudes in a laboratory. So it's enlightened. It's great. It's progressive, guys. The technology involves developing a design that can then be printed countless times. First, proprietary computer software creates a detailed model of a steak, including muscle, fat, and blood, based on whichever cut it's emulating. That blueprint is then transmitted to a printer loaded with plant-based inks. Hit the start button, and out comes a steak. Wow, guys. Amazing! You're all gonna be gods. You're all gonna be gods, and you're all gonna eat 3D printed steaks that Ben Shitrit and his Israeli company are going to save the world with. You will be gods. You will never die. You will all be gods. You are all gods who evolved from cosmic pond scum. in an impersonal process of evolution through random selection, random mutation, and natural selection by the environment. Therefore, you must all save the world by eating 3D printed steaks and sterilizing yourself. They want to 3D print you a steak. So, of course, it's so unsustainable, right? It's just, we can't have people, eating real animal foods. That's so unsustainable. That's completely unsustainable. We don't do that. We should not do that. We should be 3D printing the steaks, they tell us. This is just crazy, right? How much money is going into trying to mimic animal foods? Trying to tell you that the Beyond Burger is just as good as normal ground beef. The Beyond Burger is just as good, and it's better for the environment. How many millions of dollars? Oh, it was over $500 million was put into Beyond Meat for their stupid pea protein and potato starch and bamboo cellulose slop to supposedly engineer the perfect plant-based burger, right? You think that money was going into engineering? You think that $500 million of Beyond Meat money was going into making this amazing burger? No, this was going into creating consumer demand, right? Through manufacturing consumer demand by propaganda, like we see here in Bloomberg. So now the next step, 3D printed fake steaks, 3D printed fake ribs. Right, this is sustainability, guys. This is so sustainable. We are going to save the world with this. But, let me pull up a picture of real food. But this is unsustainable, right? Having an animal that wanders around, eats grass, converts it into bioavailable, easily digestible protein with no necessary machines, right? No mining required, no lithium mined batteries, no oil required, no gasoline required. These things wander around, poop and pee on the ground, regenerate the soil, and put living bacteria into the soil, allowing us to grow other crops. Right? Some of those crops that they can actually convert through a natural process of digestion and assimilation of the grasses around them. They can convert these indigestible grasses, these indigestible shrubs and herbs, into bioavailable protein, into fatty, delicious steaks, into this, right? Real fat, real protein, digestible, easily digestible. They want to replace this with kibble. They want us to believe that that's more sustainable, that's so good, this is so good for the planet, we're going to save the world. They're putting millions of dollars into taking machines, making machines that can 3D print this shit, and millions of dollars into convincing us that this is somehow better for the environment, better for the planet, to have a consolidated, big ag, big pharma food supply basically rationed to us. They tell us that this is how we need to do it. All right. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Doesn't seem like many people are getting notified about this, which is kind of shitty. We usually have 300-400 people here watching. We've only got 150 people today. So you guys make sure to like it and share it. We've been seeing a lot of people have actually been unsubscribed by YouTube. A lot of people, some people have got double unsubscribed. Double unsubscribed. So unfortunately, I always got to remind you, hit the like, share the video, and hopefully we can be allowed back into the algorithmic situation by big tech. All right. Yeah, it's a shame. We usually get like 400 people in here, but whatever. It's all good. So Bloomberg telling us this is what we got to do. This is so sustainable. Ben Shitrit's going to save the world with his fake-ass meat. That's every few months we see something like this. We read an article previously about Ben Shitrit. This company, Redefined Meat, plans to introduce its plant-based steaks to the public in the first quarter of 2020. It is particularly focused on fat. Ben Shitrit says the future success of imitation meat depends on getting that piece of it just right. Fat is flavor, fat's texture, he says. You need to have this play between the muscle fibers and the jelly kind of consistency coming from the fat. Right, so they're trying to mimic something that they will never be able to mimic in a laboratory. Right, the fat-soluble vitamins that you're getting that are being converted from that indigestible biomass that we can't eat, that is making up that fat. All right, the vitamin D, the vitamin A, the vitamin K2, those collagen networks that are created as that animal is moving its musculature through the space around it. Right, as it's growing, it's creating these huge, beautiful networks of collagen through which water, interstitial fluids are always flowing through, communicating with every single organ in the body. Right, this delicate, beautiful creature that provides us food, that regenerates our land, that provides us fertilizer, that gives us the nutrients we need. In fact, all the nutrients you need. Right? You can't live just off of Beyond Burgers. But you could live. I'm not saying everybody should. But it's been proven by many people in the carnivore world that you can live exclusively off of beef. How much money is being put into this? It's insane. So instead of real meat, we need to be going for fake 3D printed steaks from Ben Shitrit. Here, tasting the world's first test tube steak.
What we're going to try today are the first thin slices of steaks we have produced in a lab setting.
Greatest revolution in the
Here, what I'm going to do, so I don't have to wear the damn headphones, I'm going to do this. Bear with me for a second, guys.
What we're going to try today are the first thin slices of steaks we have produced in a lab setting.
I think this is going to be the greatest revolution in the history of modern agriculture.
This lab-grown meat is not just a plant-based alternative like the Impossible Burger.
There's a technology that exists that allows us to, for all intents and purposes, have our bacon and eat it too, without any pigs being harmed.
Cultured meat, lab-grown meat, clean meat, whatever you want to call it, is identical to conventional meat at the cellular level, just grown in a lab, no slaughter involved. Its arrival could have massive implications.
No slaughter involved. So the Wall Street Journal, no slaughter involved. Oh, that's so great. It's so progressive. It's so amazing. The poor animals are never going to die now. Complete nonsense, complete gobbledygook, right? So what's going to happen to all these animals that are being used to regenerate soil in places using rotational grazing techniques, using intensive grazing techniques like it's taught by the Alan Savory Institute, right? We had Bobby Gill from this Alan Savory Institute on not too long ago, and we talked about the regenerative grazing practices that can actually sequester carbon in the soil, right? Creating that big, deep, black, loamy soil. It can actually help with water movement, right? With water retention in the soil as well. Right? And greatly affect microclimates through properly managing land. Right? What's going to happen to all these animals? Right? These people, these utopian nutcases, want to get rid of all meat, want to replace it with lab-grown meat instead. What's going to happen to all these animals? Right? These people wanting to play God, essentially, right? Wanting to feed everybody, to control everybody's intake of nutrients, to therefore control biology of all people. This isn't just me making some extreme conjecture statement. The people who are doing this, the people who are pushing this ideology, openly talk about the want to create a complete technocratic control grid. Right? Aldous Huxley, his final revolution. That Aldous Huxley and Julian Huxley, from the Huxley family, their grandfather rather, T.H. Huxley, was called Darwin's Bulldog. Right? He actually reared H.G. Wells, who in all of his nonfiction stuff, you could read in like The Open Conspiracy by H.G. Wells, which is nonfiction. You can read in his book New World Order by H.G. Wells. He openly talks about the need to completely control every single aspect of human life. Right? And Huxley, Aldous Huxley, said that the final revolution of Brave New World is a total revolution where we will control all of biology, where we will control every single physiological, natural process on the planet. That's the goal. Right? And of course, lab-grown meat. Controlling the food supply is a major stepping stone on the way to this. We see a big push from big tech, of course, Silicon Valley, Wall Street, right? International financiers, NGOs, to tell us that eating meat is bad, to tell us that we need to go to a plant-based diet, and that lab-grown meat is going to be more sustainable and more ethical. It's nonsense. Right? It's absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense based on phony presuppositions as well. Right? The presupposed climate crisis narrative, which we've talked about many times, is not what it seems. It is not what it seems. We are told that this climate crisis, the climate is changing, and it's all our fault. Right? It's your fault for having babies. It's your fault for existing. The problem is there are too many people, as Sadhguru says. How are we going to get rid of the overpopulation problem? How are we going to reduce our carbon footprint? Well, we have to get rid of all the extra feet. All of the extra human feet. All of the extra human babies need to be reduced. Okay, get the same message. So many different areas. And of course, lab-grown meat is being heralded as our savior. Lab-grown meat is going to save us all. And we did a stream not too long ago. If you guys wanted to learn a little bit more about, the climate crisis narrative, the roots of the climate crisis narrative, very important book. Good one to check out. The First Global Revolution, a report by the Council of the Club of Rome, Alexander King and Bertrand Schneider. The Club of Rome. This book, this document, very important for understanding the mind state, the worldview, and the ideology behind the big money interests that are pushing this. And so it's not super long. It's like 150 pages. Well worth the read. But if you check out the stream that Jay Dyer and I did, shout out to Jay Dyer, the stream that Jay Dyer and I did called Clubbing for the Climate. Check out the Clubbing for the Climate stream. I think that was maybe 3 or 4 months ago. Clubbing for the Climate. There'll be a link in the chat. Did you just put it in? Cool. We just put a link in the chat. Amy Polino, thank you so much for the super chat. Sent it $4.99. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. What's going on, everyone? What up? What's up, Jay? Jay Dyer with that wrench in the chat. He's like Beetlejuice. If you're on a stream and you say Jay Dyer 3 times, it pops out. Actually, before he popped up in the chat, he was here. He manifested here. All right, what else going on? We got Garland Farms. What's up, Garland Farms? Nice to see you, man. I'm not seeing any more super chats. Thank you guys for the support with the super chats. Always much appreciated. We got some big announcements coming a little bit later in the stream. It's a shame people are not getting notified about this. We got like 300 to 400 people on a night like this. Tonight, either people just don't give a shit about listening to what I had to say, or people are not getting notified. But it is what it is. All right. If you guys got any questions, feel free to send those super chats. Always appreciate when you guys support the channel and the work we do here. As we get demonetized, hitting the algorithms. All that nonsense. All that nonsense. So tasting the world's first test tube steak. I hope this doesn't have music in it. That's copyrighted. These copyright claims are getting crazy. We'll see.
For meat eaters, the U.S.'s $200 billion meat industry, and the environment. And it's happening at a pivotal time.
We can't handle more agriculture, and this growing demand is asking precisely that, and we're going to reach a breaking point.
We're in San Francisco on our way to Just. The startup invited us to try its lab-grown chicken nuggets.
We're gonna try some lab-grown chicken nuggets, guys. Too many rural people existing, destroying our environment. All you people with your cows need to die, and we're gonna feed you from Silicon Valley. We're gonna give you fake-ass chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets made from kibble to save the world, guys. It's gonna be so lit. All right, we got some super chats. What's up? Color Me Trigger. We got some Aussies watching. What's going on, guys? We got some Aussies in the house. Let's see. Apterix 70 just sends $5. Thank you. 5 Aussie bucks. Appreciate that. Didn't ask any questions or anything. Let's see. Unless I missed it. Don't see it. Color Me Triggered. Great name. Says, I've seen a movie where they grow lab meat of movie stars so they can sell it to their fans to eat. Right? Yeah. And that's... I mean, look, these people believe, when you read their writings, people like Huxley believe that if you could control, through behaviorism, right, control the way that children are reared, for one generation, they think that they could have this amazing utopia, just basically program people into doing whatever the hell they tell them. So a movie where they grow lab-grown meat from movie stars so they can sell it there for their fans to eat, I mean, that's not too far off. That's not too far off. It is a believable sci-fi plot. Crazy. Let's see. All right, I thought there was another super chat. Where'd it go? Oh, no, those are it. All right, there's the super chats, guys. Much appreciated. Let's get back to this enlightened sage telling us how to eat fake lab-grown chicken nuggets.
Time. Just started out by making vegan alternatives to animal products, like mayo and scrambled eggs. But now they're entering a new market. They're producing actual meat grown from animal cells in a lab.
All right, Chef Chris, we're gonna cook up some cells.
I like to call it chicken.
Well, we'll see if it tastes like chicken.
This is our chicken. Got some breading on it
Tastes
right
like
now.
chicken. Like the stuff people say on TV.
All right.
Get it? Oh, wait. Do I not have it pulled
Kind
up?
of fluffy on the inside.
I don't even have it
airy
pulled up.
on the inside.
There you go.
Lab-grown meats start with a small cluster of cells that, like an embryo in a womb, needs proteins and nutrients in order to grow. The process generally begins with taking a tissue sample from a living animal. From that tissue sample, stem cells are isolated. From there, a nutrient-dense serum encourages the stem cells to multiply. Once a mass of cells is formed, it's fed with proteins that prompt the cells to differentiate into muscle and fat cells. After some time in a cultivator...
So this is so sustainable, right? You know what's totally not sustainable? Having a cow. Right? This is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. That's bad. But this is good.
A mass of cells resembling raw minced meat can be harvested and prepared.
All right, Chef Chris.
The moment of truth.
Let's do this. Here she is. Tastes like a chicken nugget. You did a great job as a chef with the exterior, but the interior is nice and soft. It's kind of spongy.
You like the chicken?
It was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to say, it tasted like a chicken nugget.
Good. We'd rather people just say that than anything else. Almost be surprised that it's so normal.
How long will it take before it's on someone's plate at a fancy restaurant or at home?
The chicken's going to be happening hopefully before the end of the year. So we're talking
Before the end of the year? We only have a few weeks left.
I know.
Where?
So we're talking to a handful of countries right now. The key limiting step is the regulatory.
The regulatory.
Regulatory environments didn't contemplate the idea that you would be able to serve meat without killing an animal.
Last month, the FDA and the USDA agreed to share regulatory oversight of lab-grown meat products in the U.S.
Okay, so don't expect the USDA or FDA to protect you from this nonsense, right? The USDA and FDA are essentially just the regulation arm of the global financial interests behind big pharma, big ag. Right? The USDA and FDA are just revolving door agencies for big ag, big pharma. It's a big joke. Right? Do not expect the FDA or USDA to protect you from this stuff. Right? I mean, I hope it'd be great if some of these government agencies would actually protect the consumer, and shoot, the producers of real food from this shit, but they won't. They definitely won't.
Just inked an agreement with a company in Japan, and they make this very, very high-end product called Wagyu, where we're sourcing cells from these phenomenal cows, and then using the cells as the building blocks to make a hamburger that we're hoping to put out in the next year, year and a half.
What's the biggest technological hurdle you have yet to overcome?
Well, it's probably the structure. You know, we didn't give you a chicken breast, we gave you a chicken nugget, you know, and we're not going to come out with a steak, we're going to come out with a hamburger. So it's just...
It's the structure. See, you can't mimic it. You can't mimic an animal building its muscle, building its collagen networks, building these networks of tissue, of muscle, fat, collagen, water, these interstitial fluids that are moving through there. They can't replicate this in a laboratory. They want to completely recreate all of reality, right? I mean, it's really, really sick way of thinking that you're going to somehow improve upon creation. You can't even create a piece of dust. You can't create a grain of sand. And you think you're going to recreate, you're going to create lab-grown meat. You're going to make food out of nothing. Come on. Come on. All right, we got air protein just created meat made from air. Yep, you read that right. First, there was meat made from plants. Now there's meat made from air. This is another article from just a couple weeks ago on cnet.com. Can you believe the meat on that plate is made of air? A Bay Area company has upended the meatless meat industry with a new, mind-boggling, seriously I'm perplexed, category of meatless meat, air-based meat. That's right, Air Protein today announced the launch of an air-based meat substance that can be used to make burgers, chicken, turkey, or virtually any product you want it to be. You can even use this air-based product to make protein-enriched pastas, cereals, and beverages. Right, so while you're starving to death in style in your smart city coffin apartment, where your food is rationed to you, you can have air protein, sustainable air protein. Now, what are you talking about? Air protein? The product looks much like a protein powder, but consists only of elements found in the air, specifically carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen, which are then blended with water and mineral nutrients to create a base. Using renewable energy. Wow, another one of these keywords, renewable energy. That means nothing. That doesn't mean any. It's renewable energy. Renewable. Marketing. PR term. Empty rhetoric. Using renewable energy in a probiotic production process, fermentation, air protein converts the elements into an edible product, the powder base, with an amino acid profile similar to that of red meat. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, so it's a complete protein. So this fake air meat is a complete protein. Don't worry, guys, it's great. It's a complete protein. It's fortified with vitamins. It's going to be fortified, right? Just like the other powders, the other processed refined powders, these people want to sell you fortified foods. Fortified foods, right? They want to put vitamin A in your wheat powder. As you're being malnourished and denied the animal foods that you need, they give you this, fortified kibble. CEO of Air Protein, Lisa Dyson, started the company after realizing that single-cell organisms could convert carbon dioxide into nutrients. The question was, essentially, if they could do it, why couldn't humans? All right, so, let's see. Not sure. I'm not sure air protein is a product that will convince wary omnivores to go vegan, but it is certainly a leap for the meatless meat industry and gives us something to ponder while we wait to see if the FDA approves cell-based meat for consumption. So again, back to the cell-based meat, back to the lab-grown meat. Constant ads for this. Oh, I hope the FDA approves it so we can save the world from the climate crisis. Social engineering you. The social engineering of the populace continues. Alright, let me come over here to the chat. What's up, guys? Always bigot to the chat. Honest AF, what's up, Honest AF? Mauricio, what's up, dude? Mauricio says there's something called ideological subversion. The only reason people nowadays are so stupid to believe in the pseudoscience, all this crappy data that justifies eating dirt. Yeah, well, there's a science called social engineering. Right? There is the behavior modification sciences. They're pseudosciences, right? But they're concerned with results, pragmatic results, of how to engineer a society of people that will willingly do exactly what they want. People who will willingly give up the most nutrient-dense, essential foods and let them be replaced with rationed kibble. So it takes time to get there. It takes time. But they are manufacturing consent as we speak. All this lab-grown meat.
Aleph Farms are excited to announce a game-changing moment in cellular meat history.
Game-changing.
We're getting closer to our vision of creating a cellular steak, providing the experience, look, and feel of the steak we all know.
We've successfully produced the first pieces of beef steak grown from natural cells without harming any animals. Meat is a complex tissue. This breakthrough includes various cell types found in conventional cuts of meat grown together outside the animal to form a 3D structure similar to meat, but using more sustainable, safe, and ethical methods. These first cell-based meat cuts demonstrate our capability of achieving our vision of growing steaks.
This meat had a great look and the original texture of a steak.
Finally, meat you can enjoy that's good for your health and the planet from Aleph Farms.
What the hell is that? More ethical, more sustainable. Ethical, sustainable, right? They're always using these empty catchphrases, right? What is sustainable? What does that mean? What does sustainable mean? It's a feel-good word. Nobody even knows what it means. Sustainability, something that can be quantified in 1,000 different ways using 1,000 different metrics. And so you see all these companies like Impossible Inc. trying to tell you that their stuff is sustainable, more sustainable than real beef. Right? They use that company Qantas. To go through and look at the production of the Impossible Burger and quantify how much carbon dioxide is released through the creation of the Impossible Burger. That same company that did the assessment for Impossible Inc. also did an assessment for White Oak Pastures. White Oak Pastures, which I just released an interview I did with a guy from White Oak Pastures today. White Oak Pastures, it was proven that their grass-fed beef was actually carbon negative, right? It was actually putting carbon back in the soil. Not that I buy into the assumption that carbon dioxide is bad, right? I think if we allow that narrative to continue, we're going to really regret it, right? I really hope more people look into the driving factors behind so-called climate change, the greenhouse effect. Very, very minimal, right? Ned Nikolov, he's a scientist who's published some interesting work. You can find him on Twitter. He does a really good job of explaining some other theories for so-called climate change, which climate is constantly changing, right? There are cycles involved with the sun that will affect us. Okay. Water vapor is the greatest greenhouse gas, right? The most voluminous greenhouse gas in the atmosphere is water vapor. Yet carbon dioxide, which we exhale, which plants inhale, is being demonized. And of course, they've been talking about carbon taxes for over a decade now. Right? Al Gore's been talking about carbon taxes since like 2004, maybe even before that. They've got all these schemes about quantifying your carbon output and creating governmental structures, creating a new economic system, creating a whole economic overhaul with this New Deal for Nature, Green New Deal stuff that they're trying to sell us on, which is essentially bankrolling what they call the Fourth Industrial Revolution, right? And the Fourth Industrial Revolution has everything to do with what we see here. 3D printing of steaks, lab-grown meat, 5G, AI-controlled, centralized, smart cities run by megacorporations. That is what they're pushing us towards. Right? This whole sustainability talk is about herding us into these smart cities, into small coffin apartments where everything is rationed to us. Obviously, I don't think that sounds like a very enjoyable future. And we've got Wired Magazine talking about the fake meat. Journeyman Pictures. Let's see what they're going to say.
Every cell in an animal.
In 2005, Uma Valetti was an up-and-coming cardiologist in St. Paul, Minnesota. He'd just finished a prestigious fellowship at the Mayo Clinic and was treating patients with serious heart conditions, all while conducting cutting-edge research.
In my practice in cardiology, I started working on a clinical study that took stem cells of patients that had large heart attacks or cardiac arrest, and we would take those cells and inject them into patients' hearts to regrow the heart muscle. That led me to start thinking, can you just grow food from cells? And once the idea got into my head, it was really impossible to get it out.
Valetti started researching the idea of creating meat in a lab. He'd always been bothered by the environmental impacts of meat production and also the fact that billions of animals are slaughtered for meat each year.
So the big investment banks that bankrolled the Green Revolution, which created the factory farming system, right? The Green Revolution and then the subsequent Gene Revolution, which were pushed through NGOs like the Rockefeller Foundation, which were pushed through universities like Harvard. Let's see, oops, where is that? Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find the window I've got here, my Firefox window. There it is. It's the Green Revolution, bankrolled. Oops, hold on. The Green Revolution, bankrolled through the Rockefeller Foundation, bankrolled by the big investment banks, pushed through universities like Harvard and Oxford. Really good resource for learning a little bit about the consolidation of the food supply and what happened with this whole GMO revolution that we've seen recently, which has consolidated the food supply even further and allowed people to patent life forms, to genetically modify and patent seeds so that they can have control over the seeds and the production of food. Now, you can read about this in Seeds of Destruction, really good book by F. William Engdahl. He made another book about the color revolutions too, Manifest Destiny. That's a pretty good book as well. Manifest Destiny, another one of his books by F. William Engdahl. But Seeds of Destruction goes deep into the creation of this factory farming system, bankrolled by big foundations that benefited the very corporations, the very companies that are now pushing for a global crisis to be declared. Right? We have to declare war on ourselves to stop the hashtag climate crisis. The World Business Council for Sustainable Development is somebody that you should definitely follow on Twitter. Of course, you can see other people that follow it. Gunhild A. Stortelen. We all know good old Gunhild. Good old Gunhild A. G. Stortelen from the Eat Lancet Foundation. Right? She's the founder and executive chair of Eat. She is a billionaire. She's super esoteric. Look at that. Look at that. So cool. She's a billionaire. The Ford Foundation, the Tavistock Institute. All these people follow. The Rockefeller Foundation, the World Resources Institute. The companies that sit together on the World Business Council for Sustainable Development includes Monsanto Bayer, includes Cargill, includes Dow. All these big transnational corporations, 3M, Acer, Apple, BP, Bayer, Bloomberg, Baker McKenzie, Canon, Cargill, Bunge, Bridgestone. All right, this is the World Business Council for Sustainable Development wants to save the world. How's it going to save the world? By taxing the shit out of the lower classes and by consolidating a global system on behalf of all these Fortune 100 companies like DuPont, like Danone. Right? The richest people in the world, the biggest corporations in the world, Google, Goodyear, ExxonMobil, they're going to save the planet, guys. The same corporations that consolidated the food supply, that created the factory farming system, like Bunge, like Cargill, like Bayer, Monsanto, those same corporations are using this whole New Green Deal, Global New Deal for Nature rhetoric, the climate crisis narrative, the global warming, now changed to climate change narrative. They want to use this to further consolidate the food supply, right? They created the factory farming system that consolidated the seed supply, right? All the grains being controlled, the grain trade being controlled globally by a few corporations. Cargill controls, I think it was like 51%, it may even be more, of the global grain market. Okay? These big corporations like Cargill, who actually consolidated the meat market as well and pushed out the small family farmers, impoverished rural America, created this behemoth agricultural system that's based on huge loans from the World Bank and the IMF. Right? They go into these countries, they give them huge loans, they do these predatory loaning practices with farmers, where they take out massive loans to get these the equipment to start industrial agriculture. They sell them the patents and seeds that they need to rebuy every single year. Those same companies now want to say, oh, eating meat is unsustainable. This is bad for the environment. And they're using this as a straw man to cut out, they say, cut out the middleman, right? Like in Game Changers. The animals are just the middleman, bro. That cow is just a middleman between the grass and you. You should just eat the grass directly. Well, obviously, you're not going to eat the grass directly. They want to pull out those animals that you can own, that you can breed. Those animals you can keep on your own land. They want to take away your right to use those. They want to pull those from the food supply and become the new middleman with lab-grown meat, with cell-based meat. They're going to call it clean meat. They're going to call it cell-cultured meat. They're going to call it lab-cultured meat. They're going to come up with all sorts of Orwellian names to try to market this shit to us. But this stuff is only serving the purpose of enriching these same big corporations that sit on the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, pushing the UN to declare a climate emergency. You got Hitachi, Kellogg's, Michelin, Mitsubishi Corporation. These are the companies that are going to save the world. Pirelli, Philip Morris International, PepsiCo, Shell. These are the companies that we're supposed to believe are going to save us. They're going to save the world. Alright, let me come over here. Let's see if there's any super chats. What's up, guys? Alright, we got a super chat here. What's up, man? We got 549. I think those are euros. From Ishmaelsdunicht. Ishmaelsdunicht? It's in German. I can't read the German. It says, I have to confess, when I was discussing the Game Changers with a friend, I suggested eating higher quality meat, but less of it. I'm such a bad man. That's what the Game Changers message was. We'll just eat less meat, plant-based, right? They know nobody can go vegan. You can't go vegan. A vegan diet requires so much supplementation. A vegan diet is still completely deficient in nutrients. These people know that. It's abundantly clear. But if they could convince us lab-grown meat is the way to go, then the profits can keep rolling in. All right, so it is about cutting out the middleman. And who is the middleman? People. People producing food. The peasantry. The pesky peasants who have a history of being pesky little peasants and not knowing their place. That's who's seen as the enemy. That's who they want to cut out. They don't want to cut out the cow. They want to remove the people that keep the cows. They want to remove us from the land. And this is openly discussed by these big think tanks, by these big NGOs. This is openly discussed in the first global revolution, talking about framing a problem that will require a solution. And the problem is humanity itself. It's funny, but this is also discussed in this article, which we've talked about many times, from Hearst International, 1929, Cosmopolitan Magazine, 1929, by Lord Birkenhead, British statesman Lord Birkenhead. Look at Lord Birkenhead right here. What a striking, stunning man Lord Birkenhead was. Lord Birkenhead was best friends with Winston Churchill. He was his best buddy. And in this article, talks about how in the future, says, save this for your children's children's children. It's a forecast of what the world will be like 100 years from now. In the future, we will all eat lab-grown meat. Let's see, I gotta make it so you guys can see it. So he talks about lab-grown babies. He talks about the complete control over all biology. Before 2020, biologists will have solved some of the mysteries of human heredity. Heredity is determined by certain genes or units concerning which science already knows much. They are minute bodies, so small that if a hen's egg were magnified to the size of the world, one of the genes in it would lie on a fair-sized dining table. When biologists can control these, they will be able to control heredity. Most probably by 2029, a clever young man will consider his fiancée's hereditary complexion before proposing marriage, and the young woman of that age will refuse him because he has inherited a gene from his father, which will predispose their children to quarrelsomeness. Quarrelsomeness. Your father had quarrelsome genes. We had to remove him from the gene pool. Google determined that your father had quarrelsome genes, and we would prefer that you wouldn't ask about him, you little boy. Don't ask about that naughty man. That naughty man, Primal Edge Health. His genes were completely removed. His quarrelsome genes were completely removed. And so he talks about, in this article, how by 2029, the whole question of human heredity and eugenics will be swallowed up by the prospect of ectogenetic birth. So he says in the future, Lord Birkenhead, best friend of Winston Churchill, says in the future we're going to have ectogenetic birth. We're going to grow babies in the freaking lab. That's how it should happen. Should ectogenesis ever become an established part of human society, its effects will be shattering. Primarily, it will separate reproduction from marriage, and the latter institution will become wholly changed. Further, the character of the future inhabitants of any state could be determined by the government, which happened to temporarily enjoy power. By regulating the choice of the ectogenetic parents to the next generation, the cabinet of the future could breed a nation of industrious dullards or leaven the population with 50,000 charmingly irresponsible mural painters. So I'm always talking about this article because it illustrates so much. It illustrates, first of all, that this is long-term social engineering that we see here. We see the same futurist predictions being made in 1929 that they're still telling you today. You're going to live forever? You're going to live forever? And guess who the advertisers are? In Hearst's Cosmopolitan Magazine, 1929. The Battle Creek Sanitarium Company from Battle Creek, Michigan. You know who that is? That's the Seventh-day Adventists. Right, so the Battle Creek Health Builder. The Health Builder is going to keep you slender. It's going to give you 15-minute booty. Look at this lovely mannequin. This 1929 thought. Dorothy Knapp proclaimed the world's most beautiful girl. An enthusiastic Health Builder user. So you can get 15-minute badonkadonk with the Health Builder machine from Battle Creek. The Seventh-day Adventists at Battle Creek, right? So, of course, you see Kellogg's still, the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, helping to astroturf what they're calling the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The Fourth Industrial Revolution. What is this? The Fourth Industrial Revolution. What is it? And why in 1929 are they also brainstorming the same thing? So, Lord Birkenhead said babies will be produced by chemists and laboratories. The entire institution of marriage will be changed. We will all live to be 150. Agriculture will be abolished, except as a hobby, and all foodstuffs will be produced synthetically. All food is going to be produced synthetically. But also, it's not just that. He goes a little bit further. He says a further immediate consequence of ectogenesis would be a plea that society should be allowed to produce the human types it most needs, instead of being forced to absorb all the unsuitable types which happen to be born. All those unsuitable types, right? Like quarrelsome people, or rural people, or people who don't learn their place far, far below the royals like Prince Philip and Prince Andrew, right? David Attenborough. Instead of being forced to absorb all the unsuitable type which happen to be born, if it were possible to breed a race of strong, healthy creatures, intelligent, to perform intricate drudgery, yet lacking all ambition, what ruling class would resist the temptation? Many of the arguments brought against slavery would be powerless in such a case, for the ectogenetic slave of the future would not feel his bonds. Every impulse which makes slavery degrading and irksome to ordinary humanity would be removed from his mental equipment. His only happiness would be in his task. He would be the exact human counterpart of a worker bee. Only the arguments of religion could be used to prevent his evolution. His emancipation could never be considered, for in freedom he would find only crushing boredom and misery. He's just, Sounds nice, right? Wants to breed a race of slaves who don't think, who don't ask questions, who just perform their drudgery. What do we see now? We saw all these little celebrities, all these little wannabe e-celebs, right? Everybody wants to be an e-celeb now. Everybody trying to be the YouTube e-celeb. Look at me. Look at my beautiful shiny skin. Look at me. I am so cute. You have all these people dancing in front of their screens. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. It's like the ectogenetic slave that they talk about in this article. It's like you don't even need to breed them right now. You just essentially give them social media at this point. And people fall into line. It's crazy. All right, synthetic foods and the production of animal tissues in vitro will finally set at rest those timid minds which prophesy a day when the Earth's resources will not feed her children, Mama Earth. Though all the inhabitable surface of the globe were inconveniently crowded, the millions of mankind could still be fed to repletion by such means. Just millions, right? Not billions. So I guess he thought they would reduce it to millions by that time. Unfortunately, he wasn't right about that yet. So the second revolution in food production will consummate the decay of agriculture, which can only survive as a rich man's hobby. Probably, however, the synthetic foods of the next century will be so much more easily digested and appetizing than the present equivalents that agriculture will survive only in historical romances. It says already it is possible to convert indigestible cellulose into digestible sugar, but as yet the cost of operation prevents it from being carried out. Except as a laboratory experiment, such processes as this will certainly be further investigated and developed so that by 2029, starch and sugar will be as cheap as sand or sawdust today. He talks about this. He says, by 2029, agriculture, if not abolished, will be in decay, at least in civilized lands. Remember, this is 100 years ago, 1929, 90 years ago. The first step towards the end of agriculture will be the production of benevolent bacteria to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, which is essential to the growth of plant life. So he predicted nitrogen fertilizers before it happened. Such a development will, of course, be watched with anxious eyes by all governments. Food prices will slump. Millions of laborers all over the world will find their livelihood vanished. Hard on the heels of this development will come the perfection of synthetic foodstuffs. At present, we nourish ourselves by curiously wasteful and roundabout method. Solar energy is absorbed by plants, stored by them in their structures, mainly in the form of cellulose. The human body is unable to digest cellulose. So unlike the vegans today, he knew this in 1929. You can't digest cellulose. And so to extract nourishment from it. Many animals, however, aided by obliging bacteria, are able to perform this feat, and we keep herds of sheep, cattle, and pigs, all engaged in the task of digesting cellulose and transforming it into the meat and milk upon which we live. Already it's possible to convert indigestible cellulose into digestible sugar. So they want to feed it to us directly. Concerning proteins, the other most important human foods, two possibilities exist. Either they too will be produced synthetically, or else the more highly prized varieties of animal foods, such for example as beef steak or chicken's breast, will be grown in suitable media in the laboratory. So it's 1929. Talking about this. Long time ago. Now, this is a really interesting article. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot more than just the food stuff going on here, too. I like the ad. I like that it's got the Battle Creek ad. The open talk about eugenics, selective breeding, breeding a slave race. Like, these are the type of people who have been dreaming this stuff up for generations. Lord Birkenhead is not just some nutcase kook. He's not just some kook on meth in a trailer ranting on the internet. This is a British statesman who, much like H.G. Wells, who, much like Aldous Huxley, was running in the same circles of these technocrats and dictocrats within the Royal Society, within the Royal Institute of International Affairs, these roundtable groups that set policy internationally. And these people have been discussing this for a long time and publishing stuff about this for a long time. Lord Birkenhead is not looking at a crystal ball, gazing into the future. Lord Birkenhead knows what's cutting. Lord Birkenhead knows what is being planned and what is coming. Right, so now they're telling us, we're ready. We're going to have that lab-grown meat. It's going to be better. It's going to be more sustainable. Right, but this is beyond dumb. This is beyond stupid. We can have animals who, living on our own land, those animals, those chickens, or cows, or sheep, or goats, depending on where you live, you can have your own animals that can create digestible, assimilable protein, fat, and collagen that can give you all the nutrients you need without the need for lab-grown meat, without the need for a bunch of mined minerals, without the need for all these new middlemen. I'm going to come over here to the chat, see what's going on. What do you guys think about this? You guys want lab-grown meat, or you want real animal foods that you can actually grow on your own land? Okay. You want fake plant milk, or do you want real living food, real raw milk? What's the chat doing? Chat's super off topic. What are you guys doing? Am I boring you guys? How do we only have... Oh, this is crazy. We're getting... YouTube, what have we done? What have we done, YouTube? Am I on the naughty list again? YouTube has been removing so many subscribers. Somebody told me last stream that they were unsubscribed 2 times. 2 times unsubscribed. Ay, ay, ay. All right, Ronald Hines, thanks for sending 10 Canadian bucks. What's up, man? It says, ever think of veganism and this sustainable meat just a way of absolving yourself of responsibility? Taking our place at the top of the food chain means we are responsible for the animals. Well, yeah, this is a funny thing. So all these vegans and stuff and all these like technocrats, they talk about man is so bad. Like if man would just be dead, then everything would be better. Right? So they're in their own way trying to take responsibility and reduce the human population because they believe that humans are a plague on the earth. Attenborough says humans are a cancer on the planet. Prince Philip in the clip in the beginning, right, talking about how humans are so bad we need to get rid of them. It's funny, they say that humans are bad, they act like humans are somehow detached from nature, yet they acknowledge their own need to control the forces of nature. Right? So in a way, they want to deny man's place in the world, but at the same time, their actions don't do that. Their actions actually reflect a very distorted vision of man's place in the world that is above the animals. Right? We're not just animals. We're not just pink monkeys. We're not just pond scum that evolved into a shrew. We do have agency. We do have choice to do right or wrong. Right? We have knowledge inherently when we do something that is messed up. Why do we have a conscience? Why do we feel like weird when we do something wrong? We do something bad. I don't know. All this lab-grown meat stuff, all this fake meat stuff, all this take control of nature stuff. It's going far. It's going fast. All right. So yeah, that's a good question. All right. Is it just a way of absolving responsibility of really being human? All right. So, unlike the the Darwinian narrative, unlike the Darwinian religion, I don't believe that we are highly evolved pond scum. I don't believe that we're evolved monkeys. All right. I think we're actually made in the image and likeness of God. Without taking that into account, without taking into account theology, how can we have, without the theology of the fall, you have all these vegans, all these like technocrats, all these materialists trying to like live out this confused worldview that separates man from nature still, right? They say, oh, everything is just natural processes. Everything is just physical matter, eating itself, evolving into different forms, random mutation and natural selection. Right? They profess that they believe that, yet they admit that man has choice, right? These other animals, they're just like biological robots, they believe. But what about man? Man has a choice in his decisions. Man has a choice in how he treats his environment. It's a funny thing. Very funny thing. What else going on in the chat? You guys back on task? Someone says lab-grown meat is disgusting. Q, God of God, rulers of all, says my relatives were amoebas. Yeah, all of our great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers were rats. And then before that, they were pond scum. Our relatives were single-celled organisms. All right. So the lab-grown meat, bunch of nonsense, right? Putting out all these fake studies. Study finds environmental impact on meat versus vegetables is staggering. Researchers said, researchers at University of Minnesota and Oxford, of course, Oxford, also involved in all these big ag scams, right? The pushing of all these GMO crops, Oxford and Harvard, major perpetrators. They are giving indications that a plant-based diet is better for the environment. Researchers found that red meat was 35 more times damaging to the environment. Red meat is 35 times worse for the environment, guys. 35 to be exact. Crazy. Multiple health and environmental impacts of foods. Marco Springman. What a surprise. Marco Springman is involved in this one too. Who is Marco Springman? from Oxford University. Ugh, it's always the same people. So this just gets exhausting. It just gets exhausting. All the same names are constantly coming up. Let me show y'all who Marco Springman is. All right, I need a new tab. Let's get a new tab. No. Here. The problem is when I put a new tab up, it goes to the end, but whatever. Marco Springman. Marco Springman, highly involved with the Oxford crew, with the Beyond Meat crew. He's a member of the Eat Forum, of course, the Eat Lancet Forum, which we've talked about many times. There's a great article by Belinda Fetke about it, Eat Lancet, several articles by Belinda, and I've done several podcasts talking about these guys like Marco Springman, PhD, look at him with that beautiful toupee, that lovely nose. The future of food and center on population approaches for non-communicable disease prevention. University of Oxford, Marco Springman, PhD. Member of the Eat Forum. Marco Springman, who helped publish this one, Analysis and Valuation of the Health and Climate Change Co-Benefits of Dietary Change. All right, so you get the same names pumping out this research, just like we see in the the plant-based stuff with Walter Willett out of Harvard. Oxford is another place that's always pushing this stuff out. Marco Springman is another one of these perps that's always pushing this nonsense. So, yeah. What a surprise. I didn't even know that when I pulled up that article. But I would have guessed it. All right, so we've got the Earth needs fewer people to beat the climate crisis, scientists say. So the scientists say we all need to die. The climate crisis is going to kill us all. All the while, the entire food supply, look at all these processed foods that you're seeing in the stores. All these processed foods that you're seeing from Pepsi, Nestle, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, General Mills, Mars Company, Danone. Here's kind of a little influencer map of the consolidated food supply. All these processed foods that you eat. Of course, the major grain producers are just a few. Right? You've got Cargill, Monsanto, who else? Archer Daniels Midlands. And then the major beef, the consolidated meat producers, Tyson, Cargill. What was the other ones? Not Unilever. JBS. These big transnational corporations running the food supply. They want to save the world by further consolidating the food supply. It was a total joke. Total joke. We got some more super chats here. Thanks for the super chats, guys. Really do appreciate it. We see I got a small crowd tonight for some reason. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, the notifications. Maybe it's just the timing. Maybe Sunday night's not a good time. Saturday nights tend to be good. But Ijmays Dunak says, which Bible would you recommend and where can I get it in Europe? I would highly recommend the Orthodox Study Bible. Get the Orthodox Study Bible. That's the best one to get. Where can you get it in Europe? I'm not sure if there's any recommendations of where he could get the Orthodox Study Bible over in Europe. I'm sure you can get a copy over there. All right, Rom, what's up, man? Rom sends $10. Says Tristan, love these talks. Obviously, all these guys, Darwin, Rhodes, Huxley, are playing from the same playbook, which IMO, in my opinion, is a demonic one. Without the foundation of Christ, one can't really understand that. Yeah. Thank you. I love the picture of the beautiful baby. Thanks a lot for the support. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it's I like these conversations. It's interesting. It's a shame that I do have to keep talking about this stuff. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish this wasn't the case. I wish we could trust the people who are feeding us. I wish we could trust our media. I wish we could trust our education system. All right, but unfortunately, the world we live in is not one that promotes health. Is not one that seeks to rectify the mistakes we've made in the consolidation of the food supply. I wish this wasn't going on, but it is. It's funny you mentioned Rhodes, right? Cecil Rhodes. A lot of these dudes that you see publishing a lot of this stuff, you'll find that they're Rhodes scholars, right? The Rhodes Trust, the Rhodes influence, the Round Table influence, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, and their offshoot groups like the Council on Foreign Relations have a lot of power, right? And are very openly pushing these agendas. They're very openly pushing for more consolidation of the food supply, which we obviously don't think this is a good thing. We obviously don't think that. Bill Gates trying to build carbon capture factory plants, giant industrial carbon capture plants to suck out evil carbon dioxide from the air and get government subsidies, get paid through our tax money for carbon taxes. And we obviously don't think this is a very good idea, but these are the scams that are getting pushed, right? Bill Gates backed carbon capture plant does the work of 40 million trees. A tiny tweak in California law is creating a strange thing, carbon negative oil. Oh, it's going to be carbon negative oil for BP and Shell. Carbon negative. Nutty stuff. Hey, the Norwegian Noose in the chat. What's up, man? How's it going? Father Deacon, Dr. Ananias. We got a wrench in the chat. You guys better keep on point in the chat. We've got wrenches coming out. Thanks a lot, man. All right, we've got, who else is up in the chat? What's up, everybody? Let's see if there's any more super chats up here. Appreciate all the super chats. I'm not seeing anything else. So, of course, the IMF, World Bank, they're pushing for carbon taxes, putting a price on CO2. Countries are signing up for sizable carbon prices. Now, they're not going to call it a tax. They're going to call it putting a price on carbon. We need to put a price on the carbon. What is carbon taxation? Carbon taxes have a central role in reducing greenhouse gases. All right, so this is why all the focus is on carbon. They want to tax you on your exhalations. They want to label you as environmental toxins. Everything that you do is labeled an environmental toxin, and you're bad for the earth, and we need to tax you. It's a giant scam. Giant scam. The artist proposing cannibalism as a climate change solution. Oh, how great. The artist is proposing just a meager artist. All right, NPR. Cannibalism is perfectly natural. A new scientific history argues. And so this kind of goes back to the super chat from Rom, who says, like, look, it's just like a demonic playbook these people are all reading from. Right? It's like you see the same stuff getting pushed out over and over again. The same stuff. Get rid of the babies, get rid of yourselves, feel guilty just for being human. Right? Don't feel guilty for doing wrong. Right? Don't feel guilty for actual sins. Feel guilty for your eco sins. Right? Feel guilty for just being born human. Right? Feel guilty because we're going to tell you that human beings are the worst things. We're going to tell you that human beings are a scourge on the earth. You're an evolutionary accident, they tell you. And you should be aborted. Humanity just needs to be aborted. It's nuts. And they tell you to eat yourself, cannibalism, or starve yourself. Okay, we got next subject here.
All right,
Uh-oh. You guys always you guys get bored, and then we pull up Dr. Greger, and everyone gets all excited. Calm down. Calm down, all you Dr. Greger fans. Johnny Mengio, what's up, man? Sends $1.99. Appreciate that one. Thanks for the donation. Much appreciated. All right, what's going on in the chat? Richard Kerr, what's up, man? Good eye, mate. Yeah, somebody's mentioning the fetal bovine serum. In order to make the lab-grown meat, they need they need bovine serum. So they need to take blood from a cow and actually use that. They use the serum to grow the meat in it. So it's not like they're going to create lab-grown meat out of nothing. Like, we're just going to make you meat, something out of nothing. It's going to be a miracle of science. We're going to make lab-grown meat. And no, it's not like that. They need all sorts of input, all sorts of machines to do this. That's a giant scam. It's a huge scam. All right. So, all right. Speaking of scams. Speaking of the scams, we've got. Let's see something here. Speaking of scams. Speaking of scams, you got all these vegan activists who, essentially, the last year, I mean, it's just getting ridiculous at this point. But everything we've been saying for the last few years here, how these vegan activists are useful idiots of the Fortune 100 companies that are pushing this fake grassroots global revolution on behalf of global financial interests, on behalf of these transnational corporations and banks, that these people, we've been saying for this last few years, that these people are just the useful idiots of this movement. They are the frontline soldiers, the disposable frontline soldiers of this movement, who are always, unfortunately, being vindicated, right? I wish we were wrong, but Joey Carbstrong, who regularly advocates for eating McDonald's is vegan. Have a McVegan burger, mate. Just eat a McVegan burger. Tell everyone at McDonald's that you're vegan, that you're vegan, and they give you a vegan McVegan burger. They give you a McVegan burger. Tell everyone you're a vegan.
I want to talk to you about this because this has been a little bit of a topic. It's probably just a topic in the vegan movement, not much. But what do you think about supporting these mainstream companies that put on a vegan option? And people go, well, you can't support companies that are non-vegan. But they put on like let's just say KFC, Subway, McDonald's, Tesco, they're putting on out a vegan range. Are you someone who would say, hell yeah? Or are you someone that would say, no, only support 100% ethical businesses? What's your view?
I can't think of a better thing for the animal rights movement, to be honest, bro. I think one of the biggest issues with people going vegan is also the convenience factor.
Yeah.
It's too hard. What am I going to do? This is where I eat. I go to this supermarket. I go to this restaurant. I get this fast food. They don't have vegan stuff there. What am I can't.
It's so hard to save the world, but now, you guys, we can all save the world. We can just have like a few bong rips, just like take a few bong tugs, and then like go surfing, and then like you get out of the water and you just like cruise right over to McDonald's, and the animals will think it's amazing. Like, it's just the best thing for the vegan movement. Like KFC and McDonald's are all having vegan options. It's just so rad and lit, dude.
Do that. Yeah. At my job, there's no vegan places around. What do you want me to do? How am I going to be vegan? To be able to have these options at these such popular restaurants. So it's been really interesting, actually. Tim Hortons, they have, I think, over 7,000 locations in Canada. They put the Beyond Burger in all of their stores.
See, all these fast food restaurants, all these stores, they put the Beyond Burger in their stores. Why is that? Because the Beyond Burger is getting fronted to them, and they pay for primo shelf space. A lot of these places, no one's buying that shit. You guys see when those hurricanes came through? The hurricane came through Florida. You see the pictures of the shelves stocked with the Beyond Meat, fake shit burgers, and all the real meat was gone. No one wants this shit. It's being shoved down people's throats. Oh, yeah, it's just like, oh, this is so amazing. Oh, dude. Oh, don't you think it's awesome that, like, McDonald's and, like, Starbucks are going vegan? It's just, like, it's so lit, dude. It's, like, I don't see any contradiction in, like promoting all these major corporations like Tyson Foods investing in the Beyond Burger. As a vegan activist who believes that there's an animal holocaust and proclaims that the animals are being holocausted, I think it's perfectly amazing that the companies that are perpetuating this great animal holocaust will sell me munchies that I can eat after I take bong loads.
And they advertised it. Every store I drive past, huge billboards on the highway. I'm like, plant-based meat options. This is amazing. Wow, they're really normalizing it. The convenience factor is through the roof.
They're normalizing. It's just so amazing that these corporations are totally normalizing it. And I just don't even stop to think, oh, am I being used? Am I being used in like this giant global Marxist revolution on behalf of the Fortune 100 to consolidate the food supply and make us all serfs who eat Impossible Burgers at Burger King all day? Oh, dude, no, I can't stop and think about that. Oh, dude, let's just do some bong rips and go surf.
Incredible! I'm so happy. Absolutely, and they're selling out of it.
Yeah.
So that's Tim Hortons. They do the same at A&W. They were selling out of the Beyond Burger.
Yeah.
They just
selling out of the Beyond Burger. Come on, somebody asked, what does Joey Carbstrong do for a living? These people are professional activists. These people are professional grifter activists. So if you go to Carbstrong, check out his Patreon. These dudes make like $7,000 a month. Earthling Ed was pulling in like $7,000 a month. I think that was recently. I forget. But Carbstrong, I believe also was making like 7 G's a month just in donations so that he can do his activism. Right. Also, these people get funded by NGOs. These people have private donors who keep them going as well. Right. All the while, people who are actually really trying to spread good information get demonetized, get removed from these platforms, and don't have any freaking income. Right. All the while, people who are actually really trying to advocate for small family farms for regenerative agriculture get removed from major social media platforms and have nobody funding them. Right. There's nobody funding Primal Edge Health here. Right? We got to hustle for everything we do. Right? We create value in what we do, of course, and we do coaching. We do our monthly coaching services. Right? And we do have some people who do generously donate via PayPal sometimes and then super chats and stuff here. But we're not asking you guys for $7,000 a month so we can take a vacation, dude. Oh, could you guys just cruise over to my Patreon? I really need to get a sack. All the best veganic weed is just it's more expensive, you guys. And the animals would just be so stoked if you'd help me fix my broken $900 bong.
just brought it into Subway, selling out, just absolutely dominating. There's so many Starbucks bringing in vegan options, and just so many different places bringing in vegan options. I never heard any negativity from, on my posts at least, sharing this, and I share every single one of them saying how amazing I think this is to have these vegan alternatives in these such mainstream places where people are going to be like, heard about vegan stuff, or they go with their vegan friend, the vegan friend suggests, why don't you just try this? People start seeing, oh, this is delicious, and I feel pretty good that it isn't actually an animal. I don't like causing animal cruelty. I heard these are healthier as well. They're better for the planet too. They have just as much protein.
It's huge.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's huge. They have millions of dollars in marketing. They have restaurants all over the world. They can reach the mainstream like no other.
They're doing all the advertising for us, man. I'm like, thanks for spreading the vegan message for us. I'm so stoked. The funny thing is, as soon as KFC did it, everyone got so, not everyone, a group of people.
Not everyone. A group of insignificant people who don't matter.
Vegans are like, no, how can you promote this?
Because KFC is very obviously selling tortured chicken, but that's what their main thing.
Is it just me or does Joey Carbstrong become more effeminate every time I see him?
But I don't think that KFC are an inherently...
They're not morally distinct from Starbucks.
Of course
Who sell cow's dairy all over the world.
I don't think so either.
But I saw the same people who are emotionally against KFC would happily walk into Starbucks and get the oat latte. Yeah. And I'm like, wait a second, where are you getting shopping from here? Yeah. What's this new attachment? You have to go shopping at...
This a little like Valley Girl head swiggle too.
You know,
what's this new attachment? Carbstrong, man. These people, so insufferable, but yeah, so they love it. They say it's great. KFC, McDonald's, give me vegan kibble. Give me the vegan kibble, mate. We need the vegan kibbles. We must eat the vegan kibbles and get the vasectomies for the animals. For the animals, mate. The animals would really appreciate if you'd all sterilize yourselves, mate.
That
horrible
this is not achievable,
Australian
it's not
accent.
practical, and it's a big problem to even promote that. And I'm not, you won't see me promoting that because I'm trying to reach the mainstream. I want to reach those low-income families that are just eating meat. They never heard of vegan before, and they walk into McDonald's and there's a McVegan there, and they can choose that.
So he just wants to help all the low-income families to eat fake vegan kibble, destroy their health and their lives even further. He wants to help McDonald's to spread the global McMonoculture. He wants to help McDonald's, Dow, Bunge spread the global McMonoculture. So every time I shut up, I don't have to hear my own voice. I just hear these crickets outside. It sounds real pretty. I feel like I don't barely ever get time to just like chill out outside, watch the stars, listen to the crickets anymore. It's crazy. Too much of this stuff. Too much of this nonsense out there. Promoting freaking starvation. Promoting freaking McDonald's. Promoting KFC for the animals, mate. The animals, mate. These guys are building this global temple of mammon. Global temple of nonsense. Come over here to chat. What's up, everyone? What's up, guys? Alright, what's going on here? If Tristan became president, I'll never be... That's not how it works, guys. That's not how it works. I don't want worldly power. So this is the thing. It's like I don't want to be a president. I want to be useful. I want to serve the one that made me. I want to serve my creator. I don't want to be a... I'm not here to try to be a freaking YouTube mental illness beauty pageant winner. I'm not here to try to be a e-celeb, a president. Alright. Let's see. What else? I'm a little bit grumpy right now, if you guys can't tell. I'm a little grumpy by these vegans promoting McDonald's, KFC, right? It's just, it irks me, man. It really does annoy me how hypocritical this stuff is and how much attention and power these people are being given, right? You have McDonald's astroturfing these people's revolution. And these people are out there as the useful idiots for dudes like the homie Lord Birkenhead pulling in 7 G's a month for a permanent vacation for the animals, bro. So if you guys want to help support the movement, right? Y'all want to help support the movement of lab-grown fake meat, of selfies for the animals, you can become a Patreon along with the 345 other people. You give him $20 a month so he can go on his Vipassana retreats. Crazy. So these people are professional activists, just like Greta Thunberg. Professional activists, but it's I don't know. Aldous Huxley, George Orwell, Lord Birkenhead. Orwell, yeah. I mean, the Orwellian nature of all this is just, it's beyond me. It's beyond dumb, as I titled this stream.
Over the slaughtered, enslaved dairy cow's body that's minced up in the other burgers, you know?
Absolutely, man. And I think that, yes, KFC, They kill so many dead chickens, millions, tens of millions. It's horrific.
Yeah.
But if anyone can change, anyone. Slaughterhouse workers change, we change, people change, businesses change too.
Yeah.
And when they see a demand for ethical alternatives, for vegan alternatives, they put one there, they see how well it goes, they put another. It's not going to be long before it's VKFC.
Yeah.
Vegan Kentucky Fried, whatever they want to call it. Vegan chicken.
Kentucky Fried Corn.
Yeah, something like that. It's going to be... And so that's what I want. I don't want to just... I don't think boycotting them is something that's going to work because too many people are not interested. They don't even want to go vegan and eat vegan alternatives, a lot of people. To ask them to boycott their favorite restaurant because they maybe have some unethical practices, it's not practical. It's not pragmatic. It's not going to happen.
No.
I wish everyone would just totally boycott every fast food chain and only vegan restaurants, but that's just not reality. So let's work on what's reality. What are people going to do? They can choose the vegan option at these places.
So vegan activists basically, I mean, they're just going to start giving these people commercials, right? They're going to give ABC, Fox, they're going to be giving these dudes commercials and just give them airtime, right? You're already putting them all over BBC, right? Joey Carbstrong constantly on BBC arguing with Piers Morgan, right? Piers Morgan's like one of the most hated men in media. So they put like one of the most hated people in media, Piers Morgan, who basically got chased out of U.S. television. They put him on to debate Joey Carbstrong and prop this dude up constantly. They're always putting these people on TV. Earthling Ed, speaking at universities, at schools, at corporations, going on a world tour, constant world tour for like 3-4 years now. Right? These people are well-funded, well-organized, and they are fortified with powerful propaganda that's being pumped out at multiple levels in the media. There's a little crack house they're in, too. What the hell is this place? This is not the usual place he records these. This is weird. You think with their $7,000 Patreon money per month, they'd be able to afford a better room to record that in, but... so yeah, there we go. Joey Carbstrong. Should we finish this? We've basically heard it all. McDonald's is great. KFC's great. As long as they sell us vegan kibble, it's super good. It's so great.
KFC. Yeah. Vegan Kentucky Fried, whatever they want to call it. Vegan chicken.
Kentucky Fried Corn.
Yeah, something like that. It's going to be... And so that's what I want. I don't want to just... I don't think boycotting them is something that's going to work because too many people are not interested. They don't even want to go vegan and eat vegan alternatives, a lot of people. To ask them to boycott their favorite restaurant because they maybe have some unethical practices.
Oh, it's like so hard. It's like, hey guys, there's an animal holocaust going on right now, you guys. The animal holocaust is happening right now. And I just got done surfing and now I'm going to fight the animal holocaust by buying the vegan option at Animal Holocaust Central, McDonald's, and KFC. Right, this is just so amazing. Right, the animal holocaust is going on, but I'm not gonna stop eating KFC. Like, come on, guys. These people swear that there's an animal holocaust going on, and this is how they fight it: by promoting KFC Beyond Chicken Nuggets, by telling people to eat vegan kibble, mass-produced, monocrop vegan kibble. Such hypocrisies. And it's just, what's sad too is looking how unhealthy these people are, right? These people get worse and worse every time we see them. Joey Carbstrong, James Aspey. These dudes look more and more miserable, haunted, disturbed, gaunt, malnourished every time we see them.
Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So this video today I'm deciding to react to a campaign that Earthling Ed and his team have just released. Now I haven't seen this video, you're going to get...
So look, I plan on doing, I might just do a straight up a reaction video to this video, the Earthling Ed video, but I don't want to get into this because I already kind of watched this one. But I mean, just look at the dude. I don't think that's a fat lip. I don't think someone actually popped him in the mouth. It just looks like his mouth's just all puffy. The poor dude's eyes bulging out. I mean, this dude, like, he just looks and feels miserable. supporting all this factory farmed nonsense. Factory farming. The factory farming system is run by the big grain conglomerates. The factory farming system was rectified and created using the vehicle of the Green Revolution and then the GMO Revolution, and it's consolidated the food supply in the hands of very, very few global corporations. And these people want us to eat all that. To eat all that food. All right, so the vegan crusade is a crusade not against injustice, not against the unrighteous treatment of animals, not against cruelty to animals. It is a crusade against rural, self-sustained people. It is a crusade, a holodomor. It is a global holodomor situation that they're creating with this. Right? And that is not, and I'm not just saying that to sound extreme. This is what is going on. They want to remove your ability to produce food. They want to remove rural people from the land. They want to remove everybody from the land and consolidate us into smart city coffin apartment grids where everything is controlled by centralized AI. And this fourth industrial revolution, we've got 5G surveillance slave grid monitoring everything you do, everything you consume, all your vital signs being monitored through your tech devices that you worship as they rewrite history, as they remove people from the land and remove your ability to pass on genuine knowledge to your children. Right? And they're doing this in the name of saving the world. Absolute degenerate evil being pushed in the name of progress, in the name of science, in the name of equality. It make me so mad. It make Osho so very, very mad. Osho need to take 5 Valium or to calm down from all this degeneracy. Osho must have many Western bitches to massage him dingling to make him feel okay after all the depressing vegan hypocrites spout their banana bullshit all over the place. This make Osho so sad, so sad. All right. Moving on. Shake it off, guys. Shake off all that Joey Carbstrong. Shake out all that James Aspie. James Aspie, bro. Joey Carbstrong? James Aspie. Joey Carbstrong? James Aspie. Alright. We done. We're done with these degenerates. We're done with this. We got some introduction. We got some announcements to make. Some actually good announcements. Right? You can only fight this degeneracy so much. Right? So we've been promoting here eating nutrient-dense, high-quality foods on YouTube for 6 years now. We've been on YouTube. How crazy is that? Since 2013. Or was it 2014? How many years have been on YouTube? 5 or 6?
Not 13.
I don't. It might be 14.
No, the website went up on 13.
Okay.
We started coaching in 13.
Since 2013. Crazy. So since 2013, up here on the YouTubes. Up here on the YouTubes, teaching about nutrient-dense foods, teaching about how to properly implement a well-formulated, healthy diet. Right? The importance of animal foods. The importance of fat. The importance of animal-based protein. Right? Promoting animal-based diets for a long time here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool that it's been 6 years now. Let's see. I've been talking about this for a few weeks. We've been talking about this for months. We've been working on this for months. I think we even said like a year ago that we were going to have to move towards this model as YouTube started doing more demonetization, more deplatforming. People are being unsubscribed now. Not just people who unsubscribe because my content sucks and they don't want to hang out anymore. People are getting actually unsubscribed by YouTube multiple times. So we talked about how we were going to need to probably do something differently. And we've been working on this for a while now. We've been working on this for a few months. We are stoked to announce we are finally opening up the member section of the website. So we're announcing this today. Maybe I'll do a shorter video to announce this later on as well. But you guys, there have been a few people who were in the kind of the beta test of the private Discord. Remember, we've been doing our monthly Keto and Carnivore Collective on Discord, using a private Discord server for a while now. We've been doing the Keto and Carnivore Collective up in there. It's always fun. We thought about doing like a Discord, but most of these public Discords, they just turn into like a giant trash bin, like just a giant flaming, disgusting, filthy trash bin, much like vegan YouTube, right? The public Discords, you know, I have no interest in actually moderating a public Discord that's just going to be someone's, you know, read like an 8th grade bathroom wall, right? But we found a way to do this in a really fun way. And we created a membership section of the website. And we actually finally created a Patreon as well. Right? So just like these vegan activists, you guys can support us now. Yeah, Jessica says, yeah, give us 7 G's. Yeah, right. No, but we've got we're stoked on this, right? So we've got the member section of the website now. We've got 3 different tiers. It's better if you do this via the website rather than Patreon. We got several different tiers. We've got...
We need to talk...
No, we don't need to talk about lab-grown meat. We all done with that. Testicular Tactics says, beta? You mean alpha test. This isn't called a chat. It's a Chad. Oh, man. So, yeah, we'll call it... We did the alpha test, I guess. We did the alpha test. So, anyways, we got the private Discord. It's open now. So, we got a few people who've already jumped in. We've had some fun building it, and we've got it kind of how we want it now. Of course, this is going to be the first month where it's actually open. So we got 3 different tiers. If you guys just want to support, that's cool. If you don't want to, you know, join the monthly, the Discord, that's fine. If you want to support for like $5 a month, that's great. You get a digital resource bundle. You can also send direct suggestions for video content. And we actually really enjoy these suggestions for video content, especially when it's you know, from people who are, you know, actually engaging with the content here. And then on the partner tier, you got $10 partner tier. You get the digital resource bundle. You can send direct suggestions, subscriber only email as well as exclusive podcasts, which we're going to start doing lots of exclusive content. We've already got some stacked up, and then you've got the VIP. Wait, I'll move this over a little bit.
What's in the bundle?
The VIP. What's that, babe? What's in the bundle? What's in the bundle? Come here, come talk too.
No.
You can't. You're not dressed.
Food lists.
All right. So, anyways, the VIP section, the digital resource bundle. You got direct suggestions as well. Subscriber only email, exclusive podcast, VIP discount for PEH shop, as well as the private Discord access. So, the private Discord, we're going to do it monthly. We're going to do monthly Q&As in there in the voice. We might even do more than monthly. We might jump in there once a week every once in a while. But at least once a month, we're going to jump in there for a Q&A. It's a way of building community, of actually kind of building our little think tank there, and providing you guys with exclusive content that is curated. And it'll allow us to actually... not monitor it, but to what's it called? Moderate it as well, so it doesn't turn into a freaking cesspool of nonsense and confusion and disinformation. So we're really excited about this. We've basically taken a lot of the resources that we've been stacking up for. We've been building a lot of courses and stuff too that we're going to release soon, but we've got a lot of different resources that we'll share with you there. We're really excited for that, for the private Discord. So if you guys want to join, you can hit it up. There will be a link in the description down below. You may join now. So we're starting this now. What else, Jessica?
The top bullet there says what's in the bundle.
The top bullet? Where is that?
Under perks. In the text about it. Right there, where it was.
That link?
No, just recipe ebooks.
No, that's not linked. It's not hyperlinked.
It's not a link. That says what's in the bundle.
Okay. All right, so let's see. Come over here to the chat. What's up, guys? Rongo Pie Drum says, love the content, bro. Sends $3 New Zealand dollars. New Zealand. The New Zealanders. Appreciate that. Chat's funny right now. All right, Aaron, the big black dude, what's up? Says, thank you for doing the Lord's work. Hey, thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate that. Really appreciate everybody in the chat, everybody who supports us here at Primal Edge Health. All right, what else, babe? All right, cool. Yeah, so we're launching that. We're launching the Discord now. We're excited for that one. Also, what else we got going on? The next Keto Collective starts when? Next Sunday. All right, 1 week from today, next Keto and Carnivore Collective is starting. It's our group coaching. Of course, we still do private coaching. A lot of people want private coaching and prefer that. We are still doing private coaching consultations. If you're interested in that, you can hit me up. But I really like the Keto and Carnivore Collective because we do it in a community setting. We do 2 voice chats. We do a lesson and a Q&A every single week in the Keto and Carnivore Collective. If you want to dial in your diet, if you want to dial in your habits, your lifestyle, to get the results you want, whether that be for athletic performance. Most people are coming for fat loss, right? Most people are doing keto, carnivore, are looking for fat loss, are looking to get their life in line. They're looking to reduce inflammation, to get rid of nagging autoimmune stuff. So we're there for you, whether you're trying to gain some muscle, lose some fat, whatever you're trying to do, you can hit us up for the Keto and Carnivore Collective. Starting next Sunday. That one will be fun. Let's see, what else we got here? We've got, we had a few, you dropped some recipes this week, didn't you, babe? Let's pull this one up. What do we have here? We got this recipe up here. How to cook beef liver without flour. Little reminder. There's more than just muscle meat out there. Organs, although some people don't like them or think they don't like them. Some people don't include them and do just fine. A lot of people find that they really, really enjoy using a variety of cuts of meat. We're all about eating nose to tail, right? Using the whole animal. Cuts like liver, heart, kidney, very affordable, really good way of getting in a lot of micro and all the macronutrients you need, right? Kidney contains a lot of really good fat. I really like liver. I like how liver tastes. I actually haven't even had liver in a little while. Kidney has been something that I've really been enjoying lately. Someone says, how about the balls? You can also make testicle. Testicle is actually really good. Testicle is actually a really good source of fat. And testicle is very, very unique in how it tastes. A lot of people aren't ready to go there. But anyways, you want to learn how to make liver? Want to learn how to prepare liver without flour? Check this one out. How to cook beef liver without flour. We've also got, if you're interested in a meal plan, we actually have the Carnivore Diet meal plan right now. Where's that one? Cookbooks. There you go. So under cookbooks, over here in the shop. This one was released recently. Where is it? There we go. Took a second to load there. We got the 21-day Carnivore Diet meal plan. Quick start guide to carnivory and 21-day Carnivore Diet meal plan. Definitely check this one out. I really like this one. The way that this one actually eases you into a carnivore diet. I really enjoy the way that Jessica laid this one out. She worked really hard on this one. And it's definitely underappreciated, right? We haven't really talked about this one too much on YouTube. We throw up links on the Instagram for this one pretty often. But the 21-day Carnivore Diet meal plan, really, really good way to get started if you're interested in dialing in your diet. If you've been doing keto and you find you might be sensitive to certain plants, if you're coming from a nutrient-deficient vegan diet and you find you can't digest much of anything, carnivore diet might be a good place to start and build from there. So this is a cool Carnivore Diet, 21-day Carnivore Diet meal plan. Maybe we should do a giveaway of this one on Instagram. Do some sort of a contest on it. We haven't done something like that. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram, we'll do a contest. We'll do a giveaway of the Quick Start Guide to Carnivory with 21-day Carnivore Diet meal plan. We'll do that one soon. What else we got here? What else we got? Okay. Got some notes here. What's going on in the chat? Let me pull it. Yep, mentioned the Keto Collective starting next week. That's going to be a fun one. There's a link down in the description below if you guys want to sign up for the next Keto Collective. If you want to hit up the members section, the new members section of the website, we're going to have exclusive content, exclusive podcasts. We're going to be releasing a subscriber-only podcast next week with Nina Teicholz. That'll be a fun one. It was actually a really good interview with Nina Teicholz, who wrote The Big Fat Surprise about how dietary policy has been manipulated for generations now by big money interest. So that's a really good conversation. You're going to enjoy that one. What's going on here in the chat? What's everyone talking about? People talk about liver. Chicken liver is a little milder, says Shell. I really like beef liver. I really like beef liver. Beef liver is really nice. My favorite right now, though, kidney. Kidney is so freaking good. Kidney is so freaking good. Proper kidney. So enjoyable. I quite like it. I quite like that one. So, let's see. I think we might even have in the list here of... Where'd it go? Might even have a recipe for kidney. Oh, this one I like. This is a good recipe here. But there's kidney in this one, isn't there? We've made it with kidney. Maybe it doesn't always have kidney. Organ meat pie. This is a really good one. You can do 1/3 beef, 1/3 liver, and 1/3 heart, or you could even use kidney, ground up kidney, or chopped up kidney in there can be really nice. All right, so real simple. It's kind of like a casserole almost. Call it a pie. Looks like a pizza almost. If you put cheese on there, you could make it into a pizza. The kids really like a modified version of this with cheese on it. It's kind of like a giant quiche. There's a little bit of egg in it too, right? There's like 3 eggs in the recipe, isn't there? Is it 3 eggs? 3 eggs and then a 1/3 cup of each. So yeah, you guys check out this recipe as well. Organ meat pie, that's a good one. This one's actually in the keto, or no, the Carnivore cookbook. Our most recent book, which is available in print on the website here, primaledgehealth.com, the Carnivore cookbook, for people who really love animal, for people who truly love animals. What does kidney taste like? Kidney's really, really good. I don't know. A lot of British like kidney pie. They love it. A lot of Europeans like kidney pie. What do you think kidney tastes like?
I like herbs. Like you can taste all the different grasses.
Yeah, it's like herby. To me, if it's like good grass-fed kidney, tastes very herbaceous. It's like an herby loaf or something, like an herb loaf. It's hard to explain, like any really, really good food or like any taste. It's very, very difficult to explain. But I would say it's like a very, very fatty, soft, and herby meat. That's how kidney tastes. Really, really good. Delphine says heart is a nice mild flavor, which is true. Heart is very mild. So what I actually ate for lunch today was just kidney, plain kidney. There was no salt or anything. It was so good. It was so delicious. Really, really enjoyed that. That was my lunch today. It was just some kidney, and it was just boiled, right? Real simple. Prepared very simply. It was just straight up boiled kidney. And that was it. Really like it. All right, let me see. See if there's any super chats here to read. And yes, if I don't read, like, I know a lot of you guys are throwing questions in there, throwing suggestions. It's hard. I don't get to read everything, right? Because the chat goes real fast. I do appreciate there's someone tagged me, says, Tristan, I almost bought that book, but I picked up another Gary Tobes book instead. It's definitely on my list, though. Which book? Which one are you talking about? Nita's book? Yeah, Nita's book's pretty good. I would say, I don't know, Gary Tobes. I've never read Tobes' book. Very, very popular, very influential. A lot of people went low carb or got interested in low carb after Gary Tobes, Taubes, however you want to say it. Seeking Truth in Christ says Jamaicans make cow penis soup. Yeah, the nerves, like the central nervous system, and like a lot of those other things, like the penis and that stuff does have a lot of collagen in it. Does have a lot of collagen. I've never eaten penis. No, we did once. What did we do with that?
Did we eat it? It was
maybe ribeye ate that one.
I think I made it right. It was super, like it was really hard to cut into.
Yeah, I think the dog ate the dick last time we had one. Last time we had a cow penis, but I don't know. I think that as far as like organs and stuff go, and cuts that most people haven't tried yet, I would suggest first trying something like heart. Right? Grinding up a little heart, make meatballs with it. That's nice. Kidney. When I first had kidney, I didn't like it that much. It grew on me, though. Liver, prepared properly, can be real nice, like liver pate. I used to love, my grandpa used to make liver pate when I was a kid. I liked that. Really liked that. I've made liver pate poorly, or we've made it, or Jessica's made it sometimes. And in the past, we didn't know how to make it. It wasn't that good, but then she figured it out, and like, you know, the recipe that she put in the ketogenic edge cookbook as well as in the carnivore cookbook, those liver pate recipes are real good. Liver's real nice. It can be sweet. It can be kind of herby, depending on the type of animal, depending on the food that it's eating, depending on how mature it is. It can have more or less flavor. I like liver more from a mature animal than I do from like a young one, right? Like I don't like veal liver. I prefer a mature cow liver. I really like sheep liver. Sheep liver is real nice too. So yeah, you can try all that stuff. What can you eat on a carnivore diet on a work break without people thinking you're insane? That's a good question. Yeah, dude, look. No one knows what you're eating if you don't tell them also. But look, that organ meat pie right there, right? You don't have to use any liver in that at all. You can make a big quiche like that just with egg and ground beef if you want, right? You can bring a steak cut up in a Tupperware, right? It doesn't have to be hot. I eat cold steak all the time. It's nice, right? Hard-boiled eggs, right? Anything in a Tupperware, anything small you can bring into work. No one's gonna know what you're eating, right? You can pre-make meatballs. You can pre-make burger patties. You don't have to. You don't have to eat something like weird and obscure. All right, just keep it simple. Bring some burger patties. Bring some eggs, something like that. But check out the carnivore diet meal plan. That's a good one. A 21-day carnivore diet meal plan. You can find that on the website. Where'd that one go? I had it pulled up. Oh, it's gone. Did we turn on membership for YouTube also? Okay, we haven't done that yet. Okay. We're gonna turn on the channel members as well. That's another thing that we've got to do that we've been working on. All right. What else? Let's see what I got here on the agenda. All right. So a lot of people have been telling me that they've been unsubbed. A lot of people have been having issues getting notified. Of course, if you join the private Discord, if you join the member section of the website, you will always be notified. And you can actually be a part of the creation of some of this content. So we really enjoy the feedback we get from the audience. And it's nice to have the private Discord community where we can share ideas. You also get a lot of bonus material. You guys also get a lot of exclusive content and material that you're not going to see on the channel. This is a way that we can even do content that wouldn't make it past the YouTube censor algorithms. All right, so some of the stuff we might have to end up hosting on other forums like Vimeo. Or we might have to host some of this stuff on Vimeo or even BitChute. Because some content for YouTube just gets immediately delisted, demonetized, hidden in the algorithm. And you got to play nice. You got to play by the rules on YouTube. So this allows us to release content that's going to be exclusive for members. We're really excited about that. Let's see. What else? We're also going to do at least once a month live Q&As up in the Discord. And we might even start integrating the Discord server into some of the live streams. Right, so I've got some ideas how I'd like to kind of integrate the live Discord server into the live stream setup, which is going to be cool because we'll be able to maybe even do some. Well, I've got some ideas. We'll just say that. We've got some good ideas coming up. So hit us up with the if you guys want to join the member section of the website, the private members only Discord server. We're stoked on that. We're finally launching that. And what else? We got on Thursday, Dr. Sean Baker and Dr. Leo Venus with a V. Dr. Leo Venus with a V is going to be debating Dr. Sean Baker about carnivore, vegan, and which one is truly a game changer. All right, so we got a lot of talk about game changing. We got a lot of people getting game changed. We've got obviously a lot of criticism here for the whole plant-based vegan movement, but Leo Venus stepping up to the plate, right? Put some respect on his name, Leo Venus. Dr. Leo Venus coming to debate Dr. Sean Baker. We're going to be talking about game changing and which is the true game changing diet Vegan versus carnivore, which is the real game changer? So that's going down Thursday. Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that changes, we will announce it. But for now, it seems like Thursday is going to be the day. We're stoked on that one. And, yeah, so that's going to be fun. What else? We got that on Thursday. We're going to have another stream. Probably on Tuesday, we'll have a special stream. Hopefully people actually get notified on that one. I don't know what's going on today. This is the first time we haven't broken past 200 views, 200 people in the live audience in a long time. I'm wondering if there are a lot more people watching right now than the numbers are actually reflecting. I wonder what's going on. But it is what it is, guys. We've got a lot of haters and imitators out there. We're always putting out quality content that's always mimicked, always imitated, but never duplicated. And we're stoked to be bringing this good content to you on the regular. Dr. Leo Venus and Sean Baker coming next week. Got the private Discord up, the member section of the website launching now. We're excited for all this stuff. And, yeah, it's been a nice stream, guys. All you bigots in the chat, thanks for hanging out. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like. If you're subscribed or you think you're subscribed, you may want to double check. And make sure to hit up the member section of the website. And remember the next Keto and Carnivore Collective starting next Sunday. This is the last week to sign up. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. We might do a contest this week for people to get sponsored for the Keto and Carnivore collective. The Keto and Carnivore Collective, our private group coaching starting next Sunday. It is a month long. We do 2 voice chats per week. One of those is a lesson. Another one's a Q&A. And we go deeper than just diet. So anyways, guys, I'm out of here. All you bigots, have a good night. I'll see you on Tuesday and Thursday. Later, guys.
Trying to raise the sense of urgency around climate change.
What ups, Reflections? I am not a bigot. I am ready to save the planet by doing exactly what the big banks tell the TV screens to tell us to do. I feel so empowered on my #vegan journey. Join us as we chant empty slogans for #climate action written by PR firms. We need to save the earth and demand a global totalitarian technocratic government run by big finance and the Fortune 100. Our house is on fire and we need the nice grown-up government to take everyone's land and resources and ration us delicious, sustainable, nutrient-fortified vegan kibble. This is an emergency. Mommy Earth is crying so sad because she wants the mean grown-ups to give poor little 16-year-old human shield Greta her future back.
Do you have anything to add to these debates about just in particular the idea that it's kind of too expensive to deal with climate change?
I mean, the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean,
Jeffrey Epstein committed suicides and was working alone. Veganism is desirable and fun and make me smile big happy on my insides. I do not hate children. I am not a science denier. I do like science. To fix the #climate crisis we need to sterilize ourselves, starve ourselves, eat babies and grandma and move to a social engineered #smart city to save the earth. There is no time to examine the inconsistencies in our claims or actions or the billions of dollars being leveraged to brainwash us into thinking we want this. We want #climate action now and a #plant-based food system of sustainable fortified kibble. We are not being used. We are truly empowered and full of energy that we are using constructively. We are so empowered and not deceived.
We all share the same values, so we just need to align those values with our actions and join forces. We all want the same thing. We want to see an Earth in the next 50 years.
the money is there. If we can save the banks, then we can save the world. I mean...